Welcome back to Movies Recapped. Today, I will show you a supernatural horror thriller movie of a dead boy titled Pet Sematary. Spoilers ahead, watch out, and have a good day.
A truck is speeding on the road. The driver didn't notice a 2-year-old child walking in the middle of the road. The child's father is hiding from everyone. Unearth the child's body, buried in a magical cemetery. That night, the child returns home from the dead. But what happens next? Let this family fall into the abyss. This guy has a happy family. They have 2 lovely children and are an excellent surgeon. It can be said that their family is very happy. Because they are so tired of city life, he bought a mansion in the countryside to live together. Country life is good. The scenery is also beautiful. The only downside is that the villa is close to the road. Oil tankers often speed past. On the day of moving to a new home, the youngest child almost had an accident. Luckily, he was saved in time by neighbor Jud Crandall. Jud Crandall is a very warm person. He told Louis family, tank trucks often pass on this road. Pay attention to the kids. At the same time, actively let them get used to their surroundings. After that, they crossed a path deep in the mountain behind. A sign appeared in front. It says Pet Cemetery. Behind the sign is the cemetery. Many pets are buried in it. Jud Crandall explains, after the pets of the nearby villagers die, they will be buried here. This has become a pet cemetery. After that day, Louis just went to the hospital for work. A boy in a car accident is taken to the emergency room. Although Louis tried his best to save, but the boy's injury was too serious. Finally stopped breathing. When Louis blames himself, the boy suddenly regained consciousness and said to Louis, "Something will happen to you, be careful." After speaking, he died. It was late that day. Sleeping Louis was woken up and found the boy dead in the morning. Louis followed the boy, but he was like a demon. "This is the way to the pet cemetery." The boy pointed deep into the cemetery and said to Louis, warning him not to cross the barrier because the ground beyond is sour. Louis wakes up from bed. He thought he just had a nightmare. He opened the blanket. His feet are covered in mud. Looks like this is not a simple dream. A few days later, Rachel took the children to her grandfather's house for Thanksgiving. Louis has a bad relationship with the elderly. Do not go together. But Rachel just left. The cat in the house died. The eldest daughter loves this cat, and Louis promised his daughter, "We'll take good care of it." Just when Louis is worried, Jud says maybe there is a way to save. He took Louis to the pet cemetery. Go through the cemetery and through the tree wall. Although Louis was wondering, but he doesn't think much. Pick up the dead cat and follow. 2 people walking through a forest finally arrived in the evening. Jud Crandall says this is an Indian cemetery. Bury the cat here. Miracles will happen. After saying that, let Louis bury the cat himself. Louis digs until it's dark. Finally bury the cat. After both return home, Jud Crandall kept telling Louis, "Don't tell anyone what happened tonight, even your wife." After that day, something miraculous happened. Just as Louis was cleaning up, the cat has really come back to life. Louis was shocked. The kitten came back to life very grumpy. Louis's face is scratched. He quickly found Crandall, asked what's going on. Jud Crandall also tells the secret of the dead cat's resurrection. Original Indian cemetery. Possess some kind of supernatural power. Can revive dead creatures. Only after being resurrected does he become ferocious. Years ago, Jud Crandall also brought his dog back to life. But because I'm so angry, kill it again that night. The reason why he helped Louis revive the kitten. He doesn't want Louis's daughter to be too sad. After all, she's still young, not understanding the true meaning of death. At this point, Louis asked a question. Does anyone bury the dead? Hearing this question, Jud Crandall was taken aback. He panicked and spilled a bottle of wine on the table. After reacting, he loudly replied that of course not. No one can do such a stupid thing. Although Louis was a bit skeptical. But don't ask anymore. A few days later, Rachel is back. The eldest daughter asked Louis as she got off the plane, "Is Kitty okay?" "I dreamed that he was hit by a car and died." Louis replied quickly, "Kitty is fine." In the following days, Kitten is grumpy and has a strong body odor from time to time. On a sunny weekend, family invites Jud Crandall picnic on the lawn, but at this moment, an accident happened. 2-year-old boy picks up a kite string, run towards the road. At this moment a truck is speeding. The driver in the car is listening to rock music, not looking closely at the condition of the road ahead. Although Louis found out in time and ran over, but he fell because he was so impatient. Tragedy just happened. The most beloved son has passed away. Rachel couldn't stand such a shock. She takes sedatives every day so she can sleep. Louis also fell into a deep state of self-blame. After the funeral, Rachel brought her eldest daughter to the city, leaving only Louis alone in the villa. Jud Crandall goes to Louis' house. "Tell him I know what you want to do, but don't do it that way. Last time you asked me, does anyone bury the dead? I lied. Actually many years ago, someone once buried their son. His son has indeed come back to life, but turned into a monster. No longer the original person, scared nearby residents. In the end, it was burned to death. There's nothing wrong with resurrecting small animals, but if people come back to life, will bring dire consequences. So you can't revive your son." Louis said he understood. "Turn around, pack up your tools and run to the cemetery. Just when he was about to dig up his son's body, the boy who died in the car accident reappears, warn him not to do it. But Louis is no longer sober. He said that if his son comes back to life, he really becomes a monster. You should let him rest in peace. On the other hand, the eldest daughter returns to her grandfather's house and wakes up from a nightmare. She told her mother, "I dreamed of ghosts," saying that dad would do a very bad thing. "I hope I can stop him quickly." Rachel comforts her eldest daughter that there are no ghosts in the world, just a nightmare. The eldest daughter has to beg her mother, "Call dad now. Check if he's safe." Rachel picked up the phone and called Louis, but no one answered. Then she called Jud Crandall, after learning that Jud Crandall knows nothing, and said she'll be back soon. After hanging up, Jud Crandall knows what Louis is doing, but he can't stop Louis, and Louis is here. He dug up his son's body, followed the direction of the mountain behind. He went through the pet cemetery, climbed the tree wall. A ghost came out on the road to block him, although Louis was very scared, but still determined to keep going. Another place, Rachel with the help of the young ghost, successful final boarding. As soon as she got off the plane, she rented a car and drove home. At this time, Louis has arrived at the cemetery. After burying his son's body, tired, he went home and fell asleep. And what he doesn't know is, not long after he left, a small hand reached out from the grave. The little boy came back to life. Follow Louis home. The ground is full of the boy's muddy footprints. Loud was sleeping, didn't notice it. The boy entered the bedroom, quietly put the scalpel in its scabbard. Then he went to Jud Crandall's house, walked towards Jud Crandall with a knife. In this movie, the boy's acting skills are simply too good. This fierce little face, something like that. Rachel is now in a hurry to return, when getting ready to go home. But she heard the child's laughter from Jud Crandall's house. She walked over curiously. After going to Jud Crandall's bedroom, she saw her baby come back to life. Now he has become a little devil.
Got you something, Mommy. I brought you something, Mommy.
Next morning, Louis wakes up from a nightmare, seeing muddy footprints in the room. He knows that his son is back, but soon he found out his scalpel is gone. This makes him immediately feel that something is wrong. When looking down the stairs, the phone at home suddenly rings. Louis picks up the phone and listens. Grandpa's ask, "Is Rachel coming home?" Louis' daughter said she dreamed her mother was killed. Look at the footprints on the ground. Louis has a bad feeling. Just when he was about to go out to find and check, the phone rings again. He picked it up and listened. The Makenie's voice came from inside. Said he is now at Jud Crandall's house. Mom is very happy and waiting for Louis to come over. Louis is very angry. He prepared several doses of poison. He injected the cat before. After confirming that it's dead, Louis to Jud Crandall's house. Only a few hours have passed. Jud Crandall's house was broken. It's like decades have passed. Then he went up the stairs and found Rachel's heels. The moment he picked up the shoe, the room is back to normal. The little boy's voice came from upstairs. Louis put the shoe in the corner, take out a syringe from the bag, carefully step upstairs. As soon as he looked around, the little demon appeared in the attic and attacked Louis. Two people fighting each other. Syringe fell to the ground in the chaos. Louis pushed the little demon away. Pick up the syringe on the ground. Look at the demon in front of him. He remembers how his son used to be. The person in front is definitely not Louis' child. The little demon showed a jealous expression, step by step towards Louis. While the little demon didn't notice, Louis stabbed the boy's neck with a syringe. Look at the little devil's miserable face. Louis is also very hurt. The little demon finally fell to the ground. Louis found Rachel's body. After hugging her and leaving, Jud Crandall's house burned. When on the highway, the teenager who was in a car accident appeared in front of him. Convince him not to continue. This tragedy should stop. But Louis said why the little boy is like this. It's because of the long delay. Rachel just passed away. She won't turn into a monster this time. Louis is holding Rachel's body. Walk slowly towards the cemetery. After burying Rachel, Louis returned home, waiting for Rachel's resurrection. When the time comes 12 o'clock at night, a clay hand slowly pushed open the door. Rachel gets in. Louis is very happy. Quickly stood up and hugged her. When the two are kissing, Rachel picked up the sharp knife on the dining table. The story also ends with Louis' scream. Film released in 1989. Remake in 2019. Personally, I think the main point of the movie is causality. Jud Crandall knew that cemeteries would bring bad luck. Maybe he did it with good intentions, but still with cause and effect. This is the cause he planted, so in the end he died. Louis revives the kitten, bury his body in a cemetery. This is his reason. The reason is that the young son was killed. When he resurrected his son, bring death to his wife. In the end, he completely lost his mind, chose to bring his wife back to life. This time he lost his life, and the boy in the car accident. May be grateful that Louis tried to save him, even though it still fails in the end. But after he became a ghost, he tried to stop Louis. Finally, he warned in his eldest daughter's dream. Hope they can stop Louis from doing the wrong thing. It's a pity that he still failed. Fate may have been arranged long ago. What can we do? Is to cherish every day now. Okay, this video ends here. See you next time. Don't forget to subscribe, it helps the channel, and hit that notification bell to be notified for daily vids. Thank you for watching.